It's time for tips on how to be a better guest for talk radio shows and podcasts. Now, the two media are a little bit different, but there are many, many similarities. For starters, you need to have an interesting message, and you can't simply bombard people with, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. You have to deliver value first. You have to give people interesting insights, especially if you're not a household name and really, really famous and have a book on the very front window of every Barnes & Noble in the world. You've got to give people something of real value. Another technique that's great for podcast appearances and talk radio appearances, have a special report, an ebook, something that you can give to people for free if they come to your website or if they send you an email, or if they give you their email address. It is too much to make a direct sale with just one talk show appearances. But if you can give that as an enticement, give some special report, book, something of value to people to get them into your world so you can continue to communicate with them through your newsletter, through your YouTube videos, through your podcast, then you can start a relationship. Something else you need to be aware of, that even if it's an hour-long podcast, remember, not everyone listens to the whole thing. You don't want to have 50, 80, 100 messages come out of your mouth. You still want to have a sense of what is most important and focus on those top 3 points and come back to them regularly. Not word for word the same way, not a robot. You don't want to sound like you've memorized something, but you do want to hit your same 3 themes. Now, if you're on a traditional AM or FM talk show for an hour, it sounds like a long time, but guess what? You've got the news, weather, and sports. You've got ads throughout. You've got the host asking questions. And when it comes right down to it, an hour appearance on a talk radio show that's on traditional AM, FM radio, you're going to get maybe 20 minutes of talk, your part. And plus you have callers. The host may be extra long-winded. Plus, there's the issue of many AM and FM talk radio listeners only listen for 15 minutes because they're listening to you on the way to the grocery store. So when you really narrow it down, you may only have the ears of an audience member for 2, 3, maybe 4 minutes. So don't make the mistake of waiting till the end of the show to give your pitch. Give value throughout. Hit your main points throughout, and you'll be in better shape. A couple of technical tips when it comes to being a good radio guest and podcasting. I realize that some of you only have cell phones. If that's all you have, then do the interview by cell phone. Most landlines still have a slightly better quality audio than cell phones. So if you have access to a landline, do the call-in radio or the podcast through a landline, unless, of course, the podcast wants you to do it through Skype. If you're doing the interview through Skype, you are much better off doing it through a computer that has a direct connection to the internet rather than Wi-Fi. This way you have a stronger, better connection, better audio quality. These are some tips to help you with your radio and podcasting appearances.